As the Russo-Ukrainian conflict enters its 1,213th day, a significant escalation in rhetoric and concerning developments on the ground paint a stark picture of the ongoing geopolitical landscape. The latest assessments and reports from reputable news outlets and analytical organizations highlight a hardening of positions, persistent military operations, and increasingly desperate measures in force generation, indicating a protracted and brutal future for the region. A particularly alarming declaration emerged from Moscow, with Euromaidan press reporting on June 20, 2025, that President Vladimir Putin has declared all of Ukraine to be Russian territory. This pronouncement, delivered on day 12-13 of the full-scale invasion, marks a profound and uncompromising rejection of Ukrainian sovereignty and international law. Such a statement not only underscores Russia's maximalist objectives but also effectively extinguishes any immediate prospects for a negotiated peace, solidifying a stance that views the entire nation as an integral part of Russia. The implications for international diplomacy are severe, as it leaves no room for compromise on Ukraine's territorial integrity, making de-escalation an even more distant prospect. In parallel with this political hardening, the military situation remains intensely active. The Institute for the Study of War (ISW), a respected think tank providing daily assessments, released its Russian offensive campaign assessment for June 20, 2025. While specific details of the assessment are not public in the provided information, the very existence of such a continuous detailed analysis from ISW indicates ongoing significant Russian military activity. This suggests that Moscow's political ambitions are being pursued through sustained offensive operations, likely across multiple fronts, as both sides continue to engage in a grinding war of attrition. The duration of the conflict, now stretching well beyond 3 years, points to the immense human and material cost being borne by both nations. Adding to the complexity and grim reality of the conflict are reports concerning Russia's methods for sustaining its war effort. Ukrainian intelligence, as reported by on June 21, 2025, alleges that Russia is forcibly recruiting labor migrants to fight in Ukraine. This development, if confirmed, highlights potential manpower shortages within the Russian military and a willingness to resort to coercive measures to replenish its ranks. Such practices raise serious human rights concerns and suggest a growing strain on Russia's ability to voluntarily mobilize sufficient personnel for its protracted military campaign. The reliance on non-traditional recruitment pools, particularly those with limited legal recourse, points to the immense pressure on the Russian military to maintain its operational tempo and offensive capabilities. The continuous flow of information, as exemplified by the Kiev Post's breaking updates and live coverage on June 19, 2025, underscores the dynamic and unpredictable nature of the conflict. Each day brings new developments, whether political declarations, military maneuvers, or humanitarian crises, all contributing to a complex and ever-evolving narrative. Looking ahead, the latest developments suggest a deepening of the crisis. President Putin's declaration is a clear signal that Russia intends to pursue its objectives without compromise, setting the stage for a prolonged and potentially even more brutal conflict. The reported forced recruitment of labor migrants further illustrates the internal pressures and challenges Russia faces in sustaining its war machine, even as it outwardly projects an unyielding resolve. The international community will undoubtedly face renewed calls to respond to these escalations. As the conflict continues to reshape geopolitical alliances and test the limits of global stability, the trajectory indicates a future where the battle for Ukraine's existence will remain at the forefront of global attention, with significant implications for international security and human rights. The skies over Ukraine continue to be a crucible for modern warfare, with unmanned aerial vehicles (UAVs) emerging as a defining element of the conflict. Recent reports from June 20 to 21, 2025 highlight a dynamic landscape where Ukraine is aggressively building its drone capabilities for counteroffensives, even as the efficacy of advanced AI integration remains a subject of debate and the immediate devastating impact of drone strikes is felt on the ground. Kiev's strategic imperative to enhance its drone arsenal, as reported by the Kiev Post, underscores a determined effort to strike back against ongoing aggression. This push is not merely about increasing numbers but about fostering an indigenous technologically advanced defense industry capable of producing a diverse range of UAVs. These drones serve critical roles from reconnaissance and targeting to direct strike missions, providing an asymmetric advantage against a larger adversary. The development signifies a shift towards leveraging technological innovation as a cornerstone of national defense, empowering forces with precision capabilities and reducing risks to personnel. However, the ambitious integration of artificial intelligence into these drone systems is proving to be a complex endeavor, as Real Clear Defense observes, noting that Ukraine's AI drones are not a breakthrough yet. While AI holds immense promise for autonomous operation, enhanced targeting, and swarm capabilities, its deployment in the chaotic and unpredictable environment of active combat presents significant hurdles. Challenges include the robustness of AI algorithms against jamming and spoofing, the ethical implications of autonomous decision-making in lethal contexts, and the sheer computational and data demands required for truly effective battlefield AI. This nuanced perspective suggests that while AI is a long-term goal and an area of intense research and development, its immediate game-changing impact on the Ukrainian battlefield is still nascent, requiring further refinement and testing to overcome practical limitations. The tangible consequences of drone warfare, whether AI-assisted or not, continue to manifest daily across Ukraine. On June 20, 2025, explosions were reported in Odessa, a critical port city, hinting at the ongoing strategic targeting of infrastructure and military assets. Such incidents underscore the pervasive threat posed by UAVs, capable of striking deep behind front lines and disrupting logistics or command centers. Tragically, the human cost of this evolving conflict was highlighted by a Russian drone attack on Sumy on the same day, which resulted in injuries to a woman. This incident serves as a grim reminder that despite the technological advancements, civilian populations remain vulnerable to the indiscriminate nature of aerial bombardment, emphasizing the urgent need for robust air defense systems and international efforts to de-escalate hostilities. Looking ahead, the trajectory of drone warfare in Ukraine will undoubtedly influence military doctrines globally. The ongoing conflict serves as a real-world laboratory for the rapid development and deployment of drone technology, pushing the boundaries of what is possible. While the full potential of AI and autonomous weapons systems is yet to be realized, the continuous innovation by both sides suggests that these unmanned platforms will only become more sophisticated and integral to future conflicts. The lessons learned in Ukraine, from the agility of decentralized drone production to the persistent challenges of integrating cutting-edge AI, will shape defense strategies and technological investments for years to come, fundamentally altering the landscape of modern combat. The geopolitical landscape has been significantly stirred by a series of assertive declarations from Moscow, with Russian President Vladimir Putin issuing stark warnings and staking bold claims over the past few days. These pronouncements, spanning from the ongoing conflict in Ukraine to the delicate nuclear dynamics in the Middle East, paint a picture of an increasingly firm and expansionist Russian foreign policy, demanding close attention from international observers. On Friday, June 20, 2025, German broadcaster DW reported that President Putin asserted, "In theory, all of Ukraine is ours," and indicated Russia was eyeing the city of Sumy. This striking declaration followed swiftly by a Newsweek report on Saturday, June 21, 2025, stating that Putin had issued a warning of a new war. These statements collectively signal a significant escalation in rhetoric, reinforcing Russia's unwavering stance on the conflict and its territorial ambitions. Kyiv has been quick to react, with The Guardian reporting on Saturday, June 21, 2025, that Ukraine views Putin's claim that "Ukraine is ours" as clear evidence of his disdain for peace efforts. This perspective from Kyiv underscores the deep chasm separating the two nations' approaches to resolving the protracted conflict, suggesting that any immediate prospects for a diplomatic breakthrough remain bleak as Russia appears to double down on its maximalist objectives, potentially indicating a prolonged period of instability and conflict in Eastern Europe. Simultaneously, Russia has positioned itself prominently in the complex nuclear discussions surrounding Iran. Reuters reported on Saturday, June 21, 2025, citing Sky News Arabia that President Putin informed Israel there is no evidence Iran wants nuclear weapons. This statement introduces a significant Russian voice into a highly sensitive matter that has long been a source of regional and international tension. By publicly dismissing Israeli concerns about Iran's nuclear ambitions, Russia appears to be asserting its role as a key player in Middle Eastern security, potentially complicating efforts by other global powers to manage non-proliferation and de-escalate regional rivalries. This move could be interpreted as an attempt by Moscow to solidify its alliances in the region and challenge existing narratives, further highlighting its multifaceted engagement across different geopolitical hotspots. These recent statements, delivered within a tight time frame, collectively underscore Russia's assertive and multi-pronged approach to international relations. From the explicit claims over Ukrainian territory and warnings of further conflict to its intervention in the Iranian nuclear debate, Moscow is clearly signaling its intent to actively reshape the global order and challenge established norms. The implications are far-reaching: a deepening of the conflict in Ukraine with little room for compromise, and a more complex and potentially volatile environment in the Middle East where Russia seeks to carve out a more influential role. The world watches closely as these declarations translate into action, setting the stage for continued geopolitical friction and demanding agile diplomatic responses from the international community. In a climate of escalating tensions and profound uncertainty, Kiev is rapidly bolstering its defensive capabilities, moving aggressively to counter persistent aerial threats from Russia. As President Volodymyr Zelensky revealed, Ukraine is not only actively deploying advanced interceptor drones but is also significantly scaling up their domestic production. This strategic pivot underscores a deepening commitment to technological self-sufficiency in the face of ongoing aggression, signaling a crucial evolution in the conflict's dynamics. On Saturday, President Zelensky confirmed that Ukrainian forces are already utilizing these sophisticated interceptors to effectively shoot down Russian-launched Shahed drones, a significant step in neutralizing a key component of Moscow's aerial assault strategy. This immediate operational success is being complemented by an ambitious drive to expand manufacturing capacity, a move designed to ensure a steady supply of these critical defense assets. The president's announcement, made via his official website, highlights a proactive stance aimed at enhancing national air defense systems and reducing reliance on external military aid for such specific technologies. Furthermore, Zelensky elaborated on this innovation, stating that Ukraine is actively developing new interceptor drones specifically designed to counter the varied and evolving nature of Russian attacks. This emphasis on indigenous research and development points to a long-term vision for Ukrainian defense, fostering a domestic military-industrial complex capable of addressing current and future threats. This technological surge is part of a broader resolute response from Kiev following recent escalations. In a testament to Ukraine's determination, President Zelensky also announced a series of international sanctions and significant personnel changes within his administration, directly attributing these measures to Putin's latest threats. While the specifics of these threats were not detailed, the response indicates a comprehensive strategy that combines military innovation with diplomatic and internal restructuring efforts. The imposition of new sanctions aims to further isolate Russia on the global stage and diminish its capacity to wage war. While the personnel adjustments likely reflect an internal drive for greater efficiency and accountability in wartime governance. Beyond the immediate military and political maneuvers, the ongoing conflict continues to have profound humanitarian implications. President Zelensky also confirmed that Ukraine recently received at least 20 bodies of Russian soldiers through prisoner and casualty exchanges. This grim but necessary process underscores the human cost of the protracted conflict and highlights the complex, multifaceted nature of the engagement, which includes both fierce combat and the difficult, often understated work of managing the human consequences of war. Such exchanges, while somber, are often a vital component of international humanitarian law, providing a pathway for the dignified return of deceased combatants. As Ukraine continues to innovate on the battlefield and solidify its internal and external policies, The development and mass production of indigenous interceptor drones represent a pivotal technological advancement. This shift not only promises to enhance the effectiveness of Ukraine's air defense against persistent drone attacks but also demonstrates the nation's growing capacity to leverage technology as a strategic asset in modern warfare. The coming months will undoubtedly reveal the full impact of these new capabilities on the conflict's trajectory, while Kyiv's broader multi-pronged response signals a determined effort to navigate the complexities of the war on all fronts.